Crazy. So we're actually going to pivot because this did not go out when I expected it to. I was expecting it to go out like a Thursday. Ended up going out on a Monday. So I don't think it's going to be returning anytime soon. So I figured while I'm here, I might as well take this radio out because I don't want this radio. And also this radio has a bunch of cables in the glove box for some reason. So in order to take this plastic piece off, you have to take all of this off anyways, because there's two screws. There's the other one. Two screws essentially to take off this piece. But then underneath here, there's more screws. So we have to take off this entire plastic piece. And that is going to be a little bit difficult. So I got this little, I guess little thing that is used to take off plastic pieces off a phone. So like the back casings and screens and stuff like that. That's what I have it for. So it's literally just a flathead, a plastic flathead with a point. Hopefully this helps. If not, I will have to use a flathead screwdriver. I didn't want to use metal on plastic. So let's see if this works. And hopefully it's not too hard, because I really need to take this out, because tomorrow, which you guys will see all probably in the same video, we're installing a real radio. Not that this isn't a real radio, but we're in 2025 now. Everything's Android Auto and Apple CarPlay, so we're going to get a double DIN radio for this, and therefore all of this has to go. So we're going to take all this off, and hopefully it's not too hard. Okay, so you guys could probably see me over there. So I'm going to try to shove this little thing in all these places to see. Okay. 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 Okay, look at that. Well, that's not too bad. This thing works great. All right. So I'm going to take this off too, because I think all of this comes off together. So I'm essentially trying to get all this stuff that I can done to the interior. Well, the car is not being able to be driven because there is no gauge cluster. All right, so we got all these wires got to be disconnected now back here. There you go. Whew, that's out. Okay. There's also this little plastic piece. Okay, so let's see what they did in here. So we gotta take this out now. And there's like these little plastic fascia board or something, whatever you could call it. What is... What is not moving? What else is left? Okay. This is all out. This is out. What the heck is this attached to? Okay. So the only bad thing about this job that I'm doing here is there is this little plastic piece in the middle, and unfortunately that has to be removed in order to go double DIN. So I'm just gonna grab like a little multi-tool or maybe just a tiny saw or something and just get the bracket off. And once the I will probably, since this already has the wiring harness, I will probably use this wiring harness. Maybe. I have no clue what this goes to, actually. Maybe I'll just get a new wiring harness too. They're not that expensive. They're like $10. All right, so new wiring harness it is. So new wiring harness, cut this out, and the next time you see me, I'll be installing a new radio. So first we have this, it's a double DIN kit. So this essentially is going to be the metal casing as well as a little fascia border that goes around the radio. And then we also got the radio. So this is a Sony XAV-AX6000. Have no clue what that stands for, but it has anti-glare. So that the way this sits in here, it's really at a weird spot because it's below the windshield, so there's still a lot of windshield above it. And this is a very small car, so any sun glare inside the car essentially glares onto the radio. So anti-glare is great. We still have to cut this off because we don't need this. Luckily for me, it is warm outside, so I can do all this outside today instead of in the cold garage. Welcome to Kentucky. One day it's 8 degrees, the next day it's 55. So we're gonna get something to cut this. We're going to work on installing it. I did get a different wiring harness. We will essentially try to use the old wiring harness. If it doesn't work, I already have the new wiring harness that should be arriving on Friday. Today is Wednesday, so it should be that this is done by the weekend. If not, you know, no big deal. But yeah, so let me go get something to cut this. It's just a little plastic trim. And hopefully, I hate to have to cut it, but it is what it is. So let's do that. Okay, so first things first, we gotta do some surgery, which I hate to do, but we have to do it in order to install this radio. So okay, that's done. Here we go, y'all. So this is the little fascia board or fascia cover thingy that sits right there, just like that. So it'll cover that little cut I just did, even though can't really even tell there's a cut there. And it usually just has clips that clip right onto the metal. So let's grab that out. Boom. Okay. Let's get the stereo out. So this would go in like that. Some nice stuff right there, y'all. Okay. Oh, okay. So this is the remote to the last one. We don't need that no more. We can get all this out. Here's all the cable that I was talking about. Let's see how we can get that out of there. Less trash. Now, the way I wired it is it only comes on whenever I've put it into reverse. So, put it into reverse. the camera's on. It's not mounted right now. I just have it placed right there, so it's not a big deal. Once it's on the bracket and ready to be used, obviously it will look better, so I'll have to like position it and everything. But one thing that I hate so much, also, we got the gauge cluster back. You already saw it because this video is being posted after the video of the gauge cluster. But when the radio is on, we have this god-awful antenna that sticks out of the back now. And this is the first time I've used the radio, so it's not, yeah. But as soon as you turn the car off, crazy. Now, I got new mats as well. You guys would have seen them already because they got here the same day the radio got in. So new mats, they're black with red stitching on the outside. I also got a new trunk mat. So red and black's the theme. And I haven't put it on yet, but there's also going to be a mat that goes across the entire top here of the dashboard. That's also red and black. It's red stitching, black, just like this. It's not anything crazy like the trunk lid is, or the trunk carpet. So this one does say RX-7 on it. Pretty clean. It'll go well with the seats that I got. You guys don't know what seats yet, but it'll go well with those seats. And I still have to get a flat bottom steering wheel because this one is hard to get in. But other than that, the car is pretty much ready to go. I can drive it, no problems. New tires, new radio, gauge cluster's working, fuel pump's working, boost is working, everything's working perfectly. Again, I can't express this enough. CNC Motorsports out of Radcliffe, Kentucky did a bang-up job. Amazing work, great, very personable, customer service through the roof. Then dealership, they did everything they said they were going to do. They paid for the fix. I still have to get them to reimburse for the gauge cluster because, again, I pay for the stuff myself, and then I tell them to reimburse me once the fix is actually done because I don't want them paying for something that's not getting fixed, right? So that's that. I also had to do this little thing here, because why not? And I do have to drive the car now because I have to go deliver a couple snakes to somebody here about an hour away. So it'll be my first experience driving the car a long distance with everything in working fashion. I will say that this little short trip that I just did, you guys would have seen it in the last video because it was about the gauge cluster. I have been shifting at low RPMs. I thought I was higher RPMs because of the way the car sounded, but it actually turns out I was low RPMs. So this whole time I have not actually been pushing the car to its fullest extent. And now that I have an RPM gauge, you best believe we're gonna push it to its fullest extent. So with that said, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything that I put out in the future. As always, peace.